ready?
No.
Okay.
Yup.
Oh, shit.
It's happening again.
Oh, God. I'll tell you one thing, I don't want it.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't like it. Is this camera higher than before?
Oh, yeah, it is. I should fix that.
Ah. Good call. Yeah, I want it. Yeah.
Every week your shorts are gonna get shorter and your boots are gonna get taller.
My dick's gonna get bigger.
That's
every week.
You know,
Since I was born.
see my feet. What's going on?
Dick's gonna turn into a sphere.
Okay.
All right, that's enough of that.
So yeah, I have no plan.
I have nothing. I don't know anything. I've never known anything.
So as of recording this, the first episode, or episode 0, is not out yet.
No.
But you've seen pieces of it. What do you think so far? Yeah.
I think it's.
Are you excited? I'm excited.
I think it's fucking stupid, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have an idea though. Okay. Or no, that's a lie. Courtney had an idea because I showed her some of the Grimace stuff.
Uh-huh. Hey, wait, stand up real quick. Now we're back. Are you confused?
Dude, look at my ass. Look at that shit.
I'm looking at it.
That's
Hey, look at my ass.
Hey, check out my ass.
Hey, friend.
You think about that?
Hey, pal. You got the dumper.
Don't call my ass a dumper.
What would you prefer dumper. I call it?
I don't, literally anything other than a dumper.
It's what it does.
It's a dumper.
It's a dumper.
I picture that when I shit, I don't shit normal. Like the top of my ass cheeks fold down. And shit comes out. That's what I imagine when you call it a dumper.
It's a very mechanical.
Yeah, I go and
process.
Squat over the toilet, and then my ass cheeks just like there's steam that comes out the side.
You just hear hydraulic pumps.
It's like that fucking that movie where the aliens lived in people's heads. Do you know that one?
No.
It's an older movie, but it's fucking Men in Black. Never mind. That's Men in Black 1.
Okay.
The alien guy.
It's been a long time.
They pulled on his ear, and then it fucking comes out, and then his face is like.
Oh yeah.
And comes off, and then there's a baby alien. Well, it's an old man.
Yeah, I do
alien,
remember that.
But it's a baby.
Vaguely. So that's your ass. Is there a baby?
So that's what my ass. Yeah, there's a baby.
It's a baby controlling my ass.
I get over the toilet, and my ass cheeks just on hinge, and then there's steam coming out that's not from this planet. It's it has to acclimate to the atmosphere.
Ew, it's a different element.
It's like dark matter, and it's
it's warping light around it.
It hits the atoms, and atoms start.
They start popping and fizzling away.
They just get out of the way.
They appear and reappear.
They can't
simultaneously.
They can't mingle with whatever the essence of that is.
Yeah.
So it unhinges, and then there is an old baby that starts throwing my shit into the toilet. He throws it like fucking
He's
Zeus.
Really hucking it.
Like Zeus with lightning spears.
Okay, I gotta take this off. Does it just fly off at a...
He javelins the toilet.
Okay.
Okay, tell me.
Okay.
I don't like the way that you accepted that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, was this the thought you had? You started by saying you had an idea, and I don't think this is what it was.
No, this was my idea. This is what I've been thinking about.
This is what I've been working on all week.
I've really
in preparation for
this idea that I got about what my ass does.
Yeah.
No, the idea Courtney came up with it actually because I showed her a little bit of the Grimace editing that you had been doing. And she thought it would actually be really funny. And I don't know if it would be or not, but when she said it, I was like, yeah, I don't know. But it's like when there's a point when we both make the noise again, like we recreate it.
Oh yeah.
And she said you should put Grimace's face like on me while I'm doing it.
Okay, I'll do it.
So it looks like I'm Grimace.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, cool. I think it'd be fun. Like I really had fun with that. So I mean, did you like that edit, I guess?
Yeah, I fucking loved that edit.
Okay, cool. Cuz cuz the whole thing with this is I want to be able to obviously just do like the frickin' production meeting podcast thing.
Yeah.
But then like it maybe highlight or focus on one bit of it to like hone in on like editing like that. Cause like I had fun doing that with the Grimace thing, but I couldn't do that for like the whole thing.
That's too much.
Yeah. So
if it was like a 10-minute clip, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm happy. I don't like it being overly edited because there's some people that do like constant editing where it's always like zooming in on somebody's face.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
It's always the zoom in and then they add in like the voice cut of somebody being like, bruh.
Yeah. No, that would take. I think for the podcast format, it's not actually. You kind of don't. I don't know. You could do either way, but if you start doing it that way, you have to like.
You have to
keep doing it, and then it's just like too much work for.
And then
people are like, I feel like people are just used to sitting and listening to people talking.
Yeah, I think it would make the times where we're just talking also just make it seem like less exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a different thing.
And hopefully there's something that people just put on in the background. The two people that'll watch this.
But I do think it would. I still think it would be an awesome idea to somehow do, like, take some bit from our podcast at some point and turn it into an animation.
Yeah.
Like a 3-minute animation or like a 2-minute animation. Because there's a lot of people that do that, but it's just funny. It's just fucking hilarious. I just think it would be fun to do, like outside of anybody enjoying watching it. Like I would enjoy to watch it. That's
right. And yeah, so like, I'll get to. Don't play with that.
Oh shit! I'm a fucking dumbass.
Fucking idiot. What did we learn?
I don't know how any of this works.
I'm gonna pull this
My
off.
brain like forgets what this is doing here.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just playing. Yeah, I know you're fucking stupid.
You got nothing.
You don't know that we're filming this.
Yeah, so like it'd be fun to find the line between what is possible for me to do or challenging or fun without it becoming so challenging that it like threatens to like make this very difficult to do every week or whatever.
And I think that's further down the line.
Yeah. And so the Grimace thing I had fun with. That was a very reasonable thing. And like probably watching it doesn't seem like a ton was done, but I was like editing all the photos and
it does.
And like
to me.
Oh, well, good.
You fucking did. Dude, you fucking Grimace's face. There's the one picture where you can see somebody sitting in a bed and then there's a dark figure and Grimace's head is on it and he just looks like so. I don't know what he looks like. You
should see my folder of Grimace photos that I put together to make that.
I'm happy that exists now. I'm happy that there is somebody on somebody's computer, it's yours, has a folder of a bunch of just Grimace pictures.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, his face is like, I don't know how to describe. It's a mix between tired, sad, and fish. Like that's.
And fish.
Like,
you mean his regular face, or like in the context of what our discussion on it was?
No, just whatever. However you edited the photo, whatever his face is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's fish and tired and sad.
Yeah.
It's a tired and sad, depressed fish.
Yeah.
But you don't. So it's very subtle because there's no way to know. You can fucking stab a fish and they're like, They don't change.
They don't feel anything.
But they do kinda a little bit.
They change inside.
They like know
Ew.
it. Like if you had a video of a fish's head and somebody stabbed it off camera, like you could probably tell the moment it did get stabbed
I don't
from
like
its
that.
face. Think about that.
Why?
What would the change look like?
Ew. No.
Because they can't like emote, but they can kinda in a weird fish way.
In a weird fish way. I don't like that. I don't like. I don't like thinking that fish has depth like that. Because if it does, then I'm scared and sorry. I didn't know this would happen.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Dude, when we went fishing and we had the two fish on the line behind the boat, and they
Yeah,
were like dragging or whatever.
yeah.
Is this cruel? I don't like. It's just fishing. I don't know, but you keep them on a line to keep them there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they were just like, "Ah!" like being
don't
pulled
know.
along. I don't know.
I don't know. I think about that. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I think there's a certain degree where it's just like, in order to like, you can think about that, but is it gonna change?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna stop?
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Are you gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna eat these fish now?
Yeah, and
'cause-
like as
No,
someone who
you're gonna-
eats meat or whatever, it's easier to just not think about all the shit that is horrible about that process. But I'm still like.
Well, and I think
still
fish are
cooking and
easier
eating.
because they can't like eat. They can't. They're just very emotionless
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, it's hard to know. I don't know what that would be like.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be like if somebody put like a fucking jet plane engine in our mouth and just forced it into our lungs.
Oh, because it's being dragged along.
That might be what it's like.
Yeah. That might be fun.
That wouldn't be fun at all. That
wouldn't be fun.
Your lungs just explode. They explode, and then air's just shooting out inside of your body, and you're just blowing up like.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Fuck. I need to get into the zone here. What yeah, what's I don't know.
I don't know. Do you think? Well, fuck. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about the fish.
Let's talk about the. I guess we can talk about that. What about like where? How do you? Like I don't the meat eating thing. That's what we could talk about. We could talk about. We were kind of talking about that a little bit.
No, it's like it's one of those things where like ignorance is bliss because it's like I feel like it's so hard to be like vegetarian or vegan and like respect to folks that do that, but like your body is adapted. I don't know. I don't know shit, so I don't want to argue with anyone who knows things. But it's like I feel like
You don't want to argue with me. That's fine.
I don't.
I know.
Because I'm a genius here.
I fucking know everything.
I just feel like meat eating is such for a lot of people it's a
Yeah. How do you reconcile all the pain and suffering that went into your food?
dude, but you could but you could do that, you could say that about everything. Like we're sitting in a house on a couch and we're in air conditioning.
Yeah.
And things are nice and like our nice lovely life is sitting on a mountain of dog shit, horrific events,
Horrible things
from thousands of years past.
You know how many kids died because of this couch?
Because of this couch.
This couch killed them.
Yeah, and
This couch is a murderer.
This
couch literally killed them.
dude, I watched this couch
This couch.
murder
Right
countless
before I bought
civilians,
this couch, it like shanked a bunch of fucking kids, and
and I bought it.
I'm gonna pay money for
I
that.
would like that couch now.
But yeah, where do you reconcile that? Yeah, because you think.
Oh, it's like it.
I think that's a really good point, though. I think that is a good point. Is that you can say that about like literally everything.
Yeah.
I think at the basis of it, like at the root of everything, like just talking about food, is that life in a lot of ways is about the transference of energy from one thing to another. And I think on a microscopic level, that's happening all of the time, all around us.
Yeah.
You know, these lights, things are burning, chemical changes are happening, and energy is being transferred, and this is dying, so this can light up a room. And
and like the burden that we have as humans with big brains is like that we can look at this thing kind of from the outside. We have the privilege of being able to be like, all right, well, what is going on here? Rather than just
burden,
rather than just, it is a burden, but it's like, you know, a mouse or like a I don't know, think of like any predator doesn't think about the morality of eating its next meal. It's just like, I need to not die. I would very much like to not die.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. That's what I think about it.
I think where I don't know, you could find I think everything has kind of a gray area. Nothing's really black and white, but it's like, would I rather eat a cow that is, you know, had a good life before whatever than the one that's in like the processing pen? Yeah, for sure. But I haven't put enough effort into like making that a reality. It's just, there is a scale of like what is right and wrong, but like as humans we get to develop that scale of morality, and I don't know, other creatures don't do that. They're just kind of like, I need to survive.
It's instinct. And you know, there's a lot of argument with that and everything too, because I there's a part of that for me that I completely agree with. You know, a lot of people's argument for like, well, why do you eat meat? Why are you a carnivore? You know, and they'll say like, because it's, you know, our ancestors did, and this is how animals do it, and blah, blah, blah. A lot of people, you know, I wouldn't say that primal state of mind is necessarily like, you know, I think we have a more advanced brain for a reason, and that there's definite benefits of that, and it allows us to have a higher reasoning. Mm-hmm. But I do think there's an element of that where it's like, you know, a starving pack of wolves isn't like, you know, should we, you know, corner this deer? You know, I feel really bad for the deer though, and like, it's a just very on the line survival, primal, instinctual thing of just like, this is what you need to die, so I can continue to survive. And
like, I love Louis C.K. had that bit about like, I don't remember how it went, but something about like
every day he kills people with his car.
That might have been in the bit, but he was talking about like running outside and having to be chased by a dinosaur like to get to work or something. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I remember.
Because it's like we've the joke was that we've escaped the food chain. Like we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Or we is that what it was? I don't fucking know.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we are, we've gotten out of it, and you know, we're not in that, because a lot of people, that's a retort, you know, to some people that are like, well, we don't need to operate out of that primal mind state because we've evolved past that. But I don't know. I still think there's a part of it it's important. It's important. Yeah. I think for me, I always want to be in a situation to where I'm not being hypocritical. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I have that but I have that thing too, where it's like, I can rarely hang my hat one way or the other, like very strongly on a topic, because I generally can see both sides, and then it's like very hard to like, I don't know, I feel like to hang your hat on one thing, you have to kind of dehumanize or decredit the people that are on the other side. So in my head, I'm kind of like, I get it. I get that y'all feel the way you do about this, and there's more reasons for that, and I get why you feel this way about that. So like, I don't know, to pick a side on something is often very like combative, and I struggle with that. So I don't know, but like, it's just weird because it's like a morality thing, but like we've been imbued with morality, whereas like that's only because we don't have to, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we don't have to worry about survival as often as every other being on the planet, you know?
Yeah. So it does make me think, and what I mean by not wanting to be a hypocrite with really any viewpoint is because, well, one, I like being prepared. I want any of my ideals or my values or beliefs or whatever to be able to be put under stress and they hold up.
Yeah.
And then the other part of it is like, it's like a scientific rationale thing, you know, like if you're trying to test if something's true, the best way to test if it's true is, you know, check the different circumstances of like, okay, is it true in this scenario? Is it true in this scenario? Is it true in this scenario? Mm-hmm. And like, you know, that whole thing of like, you know, what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. There's certain circumstances, I think, that if you're thrown on an island, like you're in a Tom Hanks situation,
yeah,
your ideals, I think, you know, might change over a little bit if you are, you know, you're put in that situation where you don't have it. I don't want to say this because it sounds rude, but I think about it, is it something that is just a luxury thing? Like, have we just evolved so much that we are bored and we're just kind of coming up with these...
Like filling in the micro gaps of like...
Yeah, like we're coming up with these like, you know, viewpoints and ideals that we have the luxury to have now.
Yeah.
Because we're so in such a comforted society, like compared to our ancestors.
Yeah.
You know, to where if you asked a caveman about being vegan or like being a vegetarian,
like, what do you mean?
You would be like, they would fuck you in the tribe. They would kill you. They would drag you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're not gonna eat the fucking deer or the boar that we just hunted. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah.
They would murder you.
Yeah, I think looking at it from that viewpoint is healthy because there's no end to like directions you could point at with like, okay, the world should be more like this, the world should be more like that, we should change this, and like I think those things are all good, but I get very overwhelmed by all that because it's like I care about people and I care about, you know, what will make us grow and move forward as a society, but like no single person has the capacity for all of the things that we could all work on to like improve. And then like you get on the internet and it's very much like throwing stones in every direction, and maybe that makes change and that helps, but it feels unhealthy. And so I mean,
I don't think it's productive at all.
And like I think
it's just noise.
This might be like a privileged point of view, but it's like I try to appreciate that I have the comforts of life that again are on a mountain of like hardship that have led to society being at this point, and try to like appreciate it in a way that it's like, well, what was all that for if we're not enjoying where we're at now? And like, what can we decide on the individual level to work on to try to like improve things around you? And what is a reasonable scale to do that? Because like I can't just jump online right now and be like, I'm gonna fix world hunger, or I'm gonna fix all of racism, or all this shit. No. But like, what can you do on an individual level, or like if focusing on all of those things, are you just gonna stretch yourself so thin or make yourself so like poisoned and negative towards the world? You know,
you can't do anything.
Yeah,
you're
like
not doing anything.
I feel like a lot of what I try to, and I don't have myself quite figured out, but like I just try to work on myself as much as possible so that I'm not pouring from an empty cup.
So you're not part of the problem.
Exactly, too. Yeah. Because if you, just breed toxic, shitty, whatever, or, you know, just like, you know, I feel like we're more creative, so we like putting that kind of thing out into the world, and, you know, I don't know.
No, I definitely agree. I think it's so cliche, but I think that's 100% true. Is like where, you know, Jordan Peterson talks about shit like this too, and he has a lecture where he's talking about that, where he's talking about the way of improvement in general in the world and in society and whatever. And you know, I haven't read his book. Well, I haven't read all of his book yet, so I'm not gonna like quote it like I'm some expert, because I'm not. I suck at like it takes me forever to like start reading something. But he talks about it, and he's talking about one of his rules, I think, is clean your room or like something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a very like legitimate thing, and the idea is just how do you solve a problem and you get to the root of it? And the root, societal problems at the root of them are us.
People,
People, like we start them. It's our fault. So the best thing you can do, he says, is get yourself together.
Yeah.
Get yourself together. Get your life together to where you're good and you're working on yourself. And then once you're good, then you can maybe start.
Yeah, I feel like the trickle down of that is such a strong thing. And I don't know. I totally agree with that. And like, I don't know what his philosophy behind that entails, you're explaining it, but like something as simple as like cleaning my room, like on paper, it's like why and who cares? But then I do something like that, and then I feel good. I feel like, oh, I did something even if it was small, and that like creates a momentum towards
other things.
Yeah, or like I struggle with productivity more than anything, I think. And like that creates like a sense of gratification that I'm like, okay, what's the next thing that I can do? And then the snowball.
Because I think and I think a lot of it is control too. So like for me, I'm a very controlling person. Like I want to be in control of everything. But I have a tendency to focus on the stuff that I can't control. And I think a lot of people do. Like we focus on all of the big giant things that we can't control or do anything about. And that's another element of like cleaning your room, metaphorically and literally, is like, this is something you can control. It's right here. Like there's dirt on the ground. You can sweep that dirt up and get rid of it. You have control to do that.
Like, I don't know. I think that goes along with kind of just burdening yourself with all the woes of the world. And I've said it before, but like the internet like gives us access to too much things that we just don't have the capacity for. And so you can choose to like open yourself to it and just become poisoned by it all. Or like, I don't know, like when like a national tragedy happens, I feel like I don't even like flinch anymore because like
you're just numb.
You just like,
it's just too much.
I can't feel bad all the time, and like the internet incentivizes like negative shit like that. So it all just feels fake, even though, and it's like I get like a weird dissociation from it. But like back to the room thing, it's like you scale back all of your control and like value into just something so small and so individual that if you can do that, then you can start to just work above that a little bit at a time. And
then you're sweeping the whole room. Now you're sweeping the whole house. Then it's like, all right, the house is good. Let's go to the yard.
Now you're sweeping the whole neighborhood.
Just go out with a fucking broom and just
now you're
go to your neighbor's house and fucking.
Now you're in.
You're
sweeping all of New York City.
That's
alone.
Dude, that's a powerful metaphor.
It is.
Someone needs to just go do that. And not even really to do it to fix anything, but just to send a message.
I feel like if someone did that, they would catch attention for it. Because it would take a really long time. And then they'd be like, what is this guy doing?
He needs to go sweep in Africa.
Sweep, like...
He's on the Serengeti sweeping.
He's sweeping the fucking... What's the huge desert?
The Serengeti.
That's the Serengeti? No.
No, it's...
Why can't I think of it?
Dude, don't anything...
I'm going to look it up.
Seriously, this is going to ruin our podcast. Because anything
we don't know
at all, I will ruin
largest desert
everybody
in the world. No, idiot. It says Antarctica. Like, shut up. You know what I mean.
Technically.
Yeah, Sahara.
The Sahara.
Yeah. You go.
Serengeti Sahara.
You sweep the Sahara Desert.
I'm getting it. Dude, I would respect that guy more than I would respect anybody online being an advocate or being an adversary.
But no. Okay.
Posting about making the world a better place with their posts. I respect that man's broom. He's fucking out there.
All right, so
nobody even knows.
We established we love this
There's
guy.
a lot of dirt here.
He's a great guy. He's doing something good. But
this dirt needs to get cleaned up.
Just pretend you have a square meter of the Sahara Desert that you are focused on.
I'm sorry.
What is the value? What do you do? Like, are you just getting more dirt uncovered?
That's what I'm laughing because I'm picturing his mentality literally just being like, oh, there's some dirt on the ground. I gotta get this up.
Usually,
he's treating it like it would be his kitchen.
In a normal circumstance,
It's like there's so much dirt out here. This is so dirty. We got to get rid of this. He's got like a push broom.
Yeah, a shitty one.
He's got some like Mary Poppins song that he's singing.
And what does he do with the dirt in the pan?
Chimney, chimney, chim.
He's whistling to himself. What does he do with the dirt?
Dehydrating.
He's dying. He dies really quickly. He had an honorable goal, but he had no preparation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy I want to be.
So that's a good example.
An idiot doing something he believes is right.
I don't know. I respect that guy. I would respect him. I would respect him so much more than anybody that goes like on a mission trip to Africa and like that Louis C.K. bit. They go there, they hold the shovel with like the kids, and they're like, "I did something nice," and then they come back. And it's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You didn't.
You think you did, but they hate you.
Yeah.
And they don't want you there. Get a broom.
Get
the broom. Don't even talk to them.
Turn your camera off.
Just start. They try to talk to you. Just be like, no. Like, it's not about you.
It's not about me and you.
I need a sweep.
It's about this noble cause. Sweeping.
There's dirt on this planet, and I'm cleaning it up.
I want to talk about your Louis C.K. tattoo, which you got actually the day after he came out and said that he.
No, I did not fucking do that. I already knew which direction you were going with that. So let's talk about that, because as soon as we found out, I think that he was jerking off in front of people.
You
were
went
like,
out and you're like,
I got to get a tattoo now.
I need this man on me.
He was already great, but now
I
that
actually didn't even like him before.
His comedy was okay, but that punchline.
Yeah.
When I found out he was jerking off in front of people, that's when I knew.
That's when I knew.
That's my MLK.
Okay.
That's
no, it's not.
That's my.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
I have a penis.
I have a dick. You are in this room with me.
I did no. So I got this when I was 18. Literally was. I don't know which tattoo it was. It was 1, 2, 3, fourth. Mm-hmm. Fourth tattoo. No, fifth. Fifth tattoo that I got. And I got it because I fucking love comedy, obviously. Like, my original plan was I was going to have, like, my 3 favorites going around my arm. And I never ended up doing that because I was broke, and getting like portraits is expensive as shit.
Oh, I bet.
It's just stupid. That's why I ended up going American traditional, because it's like it's the poor man's tattoo. Like it literally
looks good.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. But that's the whole point of it, is it's supposed to be just like a bummy ass, like I was supposed to get this from like a guy under a bridge somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got it because I love comedy and I loved Louis C.K. And it was right at the height of like maybe not the height, but like he was up on the climb. Like Louis had come out, and on Comedy Central, and I was watching Louis, and I fucking loved that show.
I've been wanting to watch that again. He's like back on Instagram now, and he's been posting like clips of it, and you can
buy the whole set on his website for like $20 or something, $20 or $30.
Because he just has.
I have the whole first season on DVD.
Oh, you do?
Okay. Yeah,
it's a very unique, interesting show.
It's fucking so great.
Yeah,
because it's not.
And he like, the coolest part to me was that he said that FX approached him to do a show, and he was like, "Okay, but I want control of everything, essentially." And they're like, "Well, we can't do that." And he's like, "All right, well, we." Not even in like a shitty way, but like, oh, we just won't do it. I don't need to do this. And they're come back like, okay, you can have some of this, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, no, if I can't do like all the things I want to do, like I'm just not interested. And then they're like, okay. And then they came back and they're like, all right, you get to do anything and everything that you, and I don't know, that I love in this like, because it's kind of representative of this like new age of media, in my opinion, where it's like, when you strip away all the, I don't know, extra people, voices, people that tell you no, people that say you have to add this type of thing in it, you get to like the heart of something, and there's like a purity to that, and like even if it's not the most perfect, you know, I guess the other opposite end of the spectrum for that would be like, I don't know, a Marvel movie, which they're great movies, but you know that like they have to hit some kind of metric of like success.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure there's billions
Certain
of eyes.
scenes that they have. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
billions.
they have to have this type of character. I don't know. I'm not that invested in all that, but it just
don't
seems
get me
like
wrong. I fucking love the Marvel.
No,
movies. I'm
yeah,
not even
for
gonna
sure.
lie. I'm not even gonna lie. They're amazing.
yeah, of course. I just love the
I got
idea.
so hard in the theater watching that shit. I'm not even gonna lie.
I haven't. I honestly haven't seen most of the new ones, but I just
Amazing.
I like the idea of like even if it's a shitty idea, if it's like a pure kind of like one guy did it or like a couple of guys did it, and it's coming from their mind, and you respect like what their output is. I think that's really unique and interesting, and I love that nowadays you can just start a fucking YouTube channel or just like it's so easy to do anything.
Yeah.
Like it's very liberating, and like I love seeing what the individual can create out of that.
Yeah, because I think there's the machine, like the giant like media. That whole thing is a machine, and I think a lot of good can come out of that. Like there's a lot of stuff that can come out of that that's good.
Up
because like Star Wars and shit like that, like
everything we've ever seen for the
Lord
most part.
of the Rings, those big, they're Avatar, like there's movies like that they're fucking legit. Jurassic Park, like all of that shit, it's cinema gold and it's classic to me. Yeah. But yeah, when you get,
but even through that machine, you get like a unique, like a Tarantino, where you just know the way he's gonna present something is gonna be
amazing.
Very, like only he could do that, and like I'm sure he has to go through so much, like getting people out of his space to make a thing that is stuck with his vision.
Yeah, dude, they've talked so. They're fucking coming to get me.
They are.
It's the popo.
That's the pop.
That the 5-0 right there.
That 12.
What?
That 12. How many numbers for police are there?
I'm a 12-year-old.
That's 12. I am 12.
I am a 12-year-old.
I am 12 years old.
I'm afraid of the cops.
You got 5-0. You got 12. 911. I don't know. There's a lot of numbers.
You're talking about their aliases? Like how many different things?
Yeah. That was it.
I think that's all there is. I don't think there's fucking any more.
Well, let's fucking move on then.
Well, let's fucking not talk about this anymore.
Oh, shit.
Now I'm upset.
You know?
I don't.
And I'm pissed.
And I'm fucking angry again.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, I think there's good that can come from the machine, but then there's
absolutely sorry, I keep interrupting.
There's also just like horribleness that can fucking come from it. Like everybody knows the Dave Chappelle situation. That is a perfect example of like fucking.
It started to get.
You have an artist. You have like a visionary that has a vision, and they're doing what they want to do, but then you have all of these extra filters of people, and I think I know a lot of it has to do with money. It has to do with money, and there's some things that I think are just better. The less people, like everybody get the fuck out. Yeah. And let this man do what he needs to do, or this artist do what they need to do. Let him have his crew and just leave him the fuck alone. You don't need to be in there like fucking skimming off the top and then adding your own rules and how can I put in this brand so it like this company can make money off of it in this way. Like, yeah. So I think Louis got something. Yeah, he definitely got something because I loved that fucking show. It's so great. I watched it. I was watching episodes of it like last month again, and I like it because it barely is cohesive. Yeah. But it is just enough though that there's a heartwarming story in there somewhere. Yeah. And you have all this extra just in and out shit, but at the core of it. Like, I watched through it, like, he had a center thing that was happening, like, with him and that, the girl, like, the girl's name was Pamela, and it was about, like, their progression, And I got this tattoo because back then, like, I just fucking related to Louis C.K. so much. Like, I was just, like, super chubby. Like, not that I'm, like, a prize now or anything, but I was, like, chubbier and just awkward and not decisive, not assertive, not anything, just awkward and just shy and blah, blah, blah. Like, that was just me. So when that was his shtick, like, he, in the show, that's him. There's so many different, like, scenes of him going on dates, and it goes in and out of surrealism, too.
Yeah.
Like, where it's, this is obviously what's happening, but then, like, the first episode, I think, he goes on a date with this girl, and it's obvious, like, she's younger, and she's set up to look like she has so much to offer, and he's just, like, a nervous piece of shit, like, the whole fucking time. And then at the end of it, there's, like, this amazing moment where he says to her, he's like, you know, he's like, I'm a father. Like, I got 2 kids. Like, this is what I bring to society. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you do? Why aren't you nervous to be with me? Like, why am I trying to impress you? You should be, you know, like, you should be kissing my ass. And then he goes to kiss her, and then a helicopter comes, and she literally climbs up onto the helicopter and then just leaves. And then it's just a shot of him looking off in the distance at this helicopter where she's taken off in.
Was that the first episode?
I'm pretty sure that was the first episode, and I don't know. It's just great. I just love it because it's real, but then it's metaphoric and
and I love that. Yeah, because he doesn't burden himself with like, oh, I don't know, like having to stick to some idea or be like some kind of consistency. He's like, no, I feel like doing this time, so like. And
it feels like everything that he's talking about is coming from his stand-up. That's the other thing that I love is that he sprinkles in stand-up at the beginning and like the end of the episodes and sometimes in between. And it's
kind of like
it might have nothing to do with it, but it has everything to do with it.
It's kind of like how Seinfeld is set up in a weird way. Like, did you ever watch Seinfeld?
Yeah, not a lot. No.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like people are very divisive on Seinfeld. It's like one of my favorite shows.
I don't have a strong opinion. I have stupid opinion about it. I haven't watched enough to even form an opinion. I just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For something like that, I try to look through the window of like, because I think Seinfeld, like his stand-up I can enjoy it, but I have to look through it through the lens of like when did this come out? Like humor evolves over time, and I feel like that show was like ahead of its time for the time. But looking back, it's harder to see that. But like the characters are all really fucking good. But they would, he'd start the show with a stand-up bit, and then that would kind of be enveloped into the episode in some capacity, whether it's some small moment or like the overarching story.
Yeah.
But the whole show is bullshit, though, like in the best way, where like I don't know, there's no message. They're just like they're just doing funny shit, and it doesn't matter. Like they're not trying to like convey some fucking message to you. It's just like 4 narcissists just like fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't watched, and I need to go back. I should go watch, because old sitcom, I like old sitcoms. I'm not even gonna lie. Some of the newer ones I've just fell off with.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I haven't even seen. I don't know if I've seen a sitcom in a while.
They're still around. Like I think Ashton Kutcher has one on Netflix called the fucking
The Ranch or whatever.
The Ranch.
My dad really likes that show. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's made for like everyone's.
It's made for my dad.
It's made for my dad. That's.
But not. I mean, it's probably good and fine. My last experience with sitcoms was, it would be a thing that my family had on, and so there's some kind of comfort to like just being in the living room and like some laugh track shows playing, and then just like sitting down and enjoying it with them. So like whatever it is, like whatever, like they would watch Big Bang Theory, and I was like, this is fine and fun. I come to find out everyone fucking hates that show. I'm like, entertaining, whatever.
See, I feel like everybody loves that show.
Really? Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't
even care. I
don't mind it, I guess.
I've enjoyed watching it with my family. The one that it was one of the worst things I'd ever seen, and it's Two Broke Girls. Have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
It's like the whole show is set up.
The whole show
is terrible setup.
Is being carried by that one girl's tits. That's what is happening in that show. That whole show.
110%.
110% are being carried on her tits.
Yeah. It's like
that girl too is just setting on them.
It's like if an AI tried to make a show and tried to optimize it. It's like, well, we have to have laughs. Let's do as many laughs as we can. But like there's like it's not my memory of it is it was never funny and there would be more laugh track than any sitcom I've ever seen.
Laughter.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I got that. Like, she's one of my celebrity crushes. I'm not even gonna lie.
Dennings.
That's probably her name. It's
probably
I don't know.
Name.
The blonde girl. I have no idea who she is, and I don't care about her.
Yeah.
She needs to eat some chicken or something. Like. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means.
That's so rude.
I don't know why chicken specifically. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
She needs to eat some biscuits or something.
Yeah, it's a little biscuit.
Get a little bit of cornbread, and I might think about it. Drink some buttermilk.
Yeah, straight from the jug.
The butter.
From the Buttercow.
Straight from the Buttercow. From the dish.
From the dish.
But yeah, that was probably the newest one that I actually legitimately liked, and I've watched through it like twice. Is How I Met Your Mother.
My brother loves that show.
I'm not gonna lie, that show hits me. It's got the feels. It's funny and it's got the.
I've seen some of it,
feels.
Not enough to like say what I feel about it, but I have watched clips of it and enjoyed it.
It's pretty good. I fell in love with it. I did it late. It wasn't when it came out. I remember there was a bunch of people talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, I don't care. And then I don't even know how I got into it. I think I saw an episode, and then I was like, this is like legitimately funny. Mm-hmm. And I just started like watching the whole thing, and yeah, I haven't watched it in a while, but it's very palatable. It's easy just to kind of like set back. Like it's not super heavy. It's sort of just like, I don't know, like watching it gives you that like Disney movie feel, where it gives you that heart at the end.
Yeah.
Where it's like funny, and then like at the end they wrap it up in a nice bow where it's like, that's a good message.
Yeah.
That's a nice message that they did there.
It's, I'm realizing like, I remember so many shows and maybe games that like I really had such fond memories of as a kid or when I was younger. And I'm like, some of them I'm afraid to go back and check out because I'm worried that they won't be what I made them up to be. Like so like
I can tell you right now they probably are probably not. You were probably right.
Yeah, because like I know with myself with video games in particular, I have I don't play that many. So when I do play them, I want to be like grabbed and I want to like not have to go through a lot of bullshit to kind of get to the meat of it. Where I don't know, learning a new game to me is like a chore. So like I don't play that many of them. So I don't like exercise that. Right. So like going back and looking at all these old games from like N64 before, like these were hard fucking games and they weren't always like they often weren't like spoon feed you and like get you into the story, get you into the mechanics. It was just kind of like, here,
dude,
drop you in and go.
No, gamers today have it so easy. They fucking like there's checkpoints and shit.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing that used to be a thing. Like even arcade days, like you don't have a check, like you get good. Like that's how you beat Pac-Man. You fucking get good or you lose all your money.
And those fucking games, the arcade ones, they were literally like the ones you put quarters in. And so the whole goal was like fast turnaround. Make it hard as hell so that you die. That like the process of you getting better comes with just a mountain of just getting destroyed by this
mountain of debt.
Yeah.
Selling your
debt
house.
And death. But that being said, those are fun games.
He got divorced because he wanted to beat Pac-Man.
You fucking fell.
Dude, somebody did that.
Fell in love with. Yeah.
That did happen
definitely.
to someone.
You fell in love with Mrs. Pac-Man.
Dude.
You asked your wife to dress up with a bow and a large rotund.
I want you to paint yourself yellow and just get into a ball.
And I'll have sex.
And every time you come, go waka 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 waka. I want you to suck my dick like that. I want you
to gob me down like that. Fucking power pill.
Fucking paints his dick blue and pretends it's a ghost. Starts running at her. Wow, and fucking chases her.
That happened.
She's like eating actual cherries and shit and fruit around the house.
And running for her life. From you.
He's serious.
You're naked and...
He's gonna fucking kill her.
That's the primary reason why they got divorced.
That's...
A couple of those events. Yeah.
The kids don't see him anymore.
But I remember Full House I loved when I was younger.
Never liked Full House.
That's another one well, okay. I said...
Everywhere you look. Everywhere it's so high, and I need to hold on to.
Yeah, I said my piece about I don't know if I would like it if I went back. But me and Summer ended up watching Fuller House, which
I remember that. Yeah,
it was on Netflix. I'm like, look at this. This is probably stupid. Let's watch it. And we got like obsessed with it, and it was just like just as corny, just as lighthearted, like. Bad writing, but it was like heartwarming in some weird way that it was like, yeah, we're just gonna watch this from now on. So I probably would like it, but I feel like there are things in my past that I'm like, it's kind of nice that I have the memory of that, and if I play it now, I wonder if I would just be like, this is dog shit.
Yeah, mine was always Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I like
That's
Fresh
a very
Prince
good show.
Yeah, me and Courtney started watching it again a couple of months ago. We need to keep watching it, but
yeah, that's really
that show set the precedent for having heart in a sitcom, because I feel like before that you kind of did. And I mean, I'm not an expert on sitcoms, so I don't know 100%, but just for me thinking about that fucking scene
with his dad,
with Uncle Phil,
with his not dad.
How come he don't want me?
Yeah,
man?
dude, I was just thinking about that because that's popped up on my timeline.
In his fucking face, and then just fucking brings him in. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's
hit me right in my man heart.
Ow,
fuck.
Opened you up.
Will Smith, I'm still convinced. For me personally, I believe Will Smith has the saddest face in the world. I'm not kidding. Like, if you
just his default face, or like
he has the ability to make me cry with his face, just from his expressions.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what the first movie it was that I noticed it. It might have been I Am Legend.
I was gonna say two of the ones I'm thinking of are I Am Legend and Hancock, which I saw recently. Hancock like isn't inherently sad, but his whole demeanor in that is just kind of this like gruff and like sad kind of guy.
Yeah.
And like that's what you made me think of, because his face is just like it's like takes a different form of just like how this person feels.
Dude, it's just something with his face. Like in I Am Legend, when he had to kill his dog.
Dude.
Like,
that's so...
Me and Cody were in the theater together, and it was at a point in our life where we weren't emotionally comfortable with each other enough as dudes to like have a moment like that.
Yeah.
So then we weren't expecting it. We thought it was like a post-apocalyptic, and then he kills his dog, and then I was like everybody just had a moment, and his face just, it's so sad.
Oh my God.
And then he took it up another level in Pursuit of Happiness. The scene...
I forgot about that movie. That was a good movie.
Do you remember the scene where he's sleeping in the subway?
No.
With his kid. And he's in the subway, and he's got his kid there, and he's just sitting there like he's just hopeless. And then someone's trying to come in to use the bathroom, and he has this moment where he pushes his foot up against the fucking like trash can to keep it closed so they can't come in. And then he's holding his son sleeping, and then you just see a tear come down because it's just like he's in this situation where he's sleeping there and he's trying to hide it because he
Yeah, dude.
And then the scene at the end. I lied. That's the saddest shit. The scene at the end when they tell him he got the job. They're like, "How would you like to work here?" And he's like, dude, his face. He's just, and he has like the silent tear, but he was like, "I would like that a lot. I would really appreciate that if I could work here. I would like that." The dude earlier in the movie borrows money from him. Will Smith.
Okay. Borrows money.
No, the CEO guy borrows money. Asks Will Smith. It's like $5.
Okay.
And it's insequential to this man. Because he's like a CEO, like it's $5. He's like, "Yeah, you got like a $5 I can borrow?" Will Smith is like, he looks in his wallet and all he has is $5, and it's God. Like, it means everything to him, but he can't tell the guy like, actually, no, I can't, so he gives it to him. But yeah, then in the end of the movie, he gets the job, and then the same CEO goes, "Oh, by the way, here's that $5 back," and it's like this moment of like. And then they film him going out in the street, and he's in this crowd, and then he starts doing that fucking silent clap to himself. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
Man, I gotta watch that again. Dude, I don't know if I told you this or not, but you were talking about being in the theater with Cody and I Am Legend and that like super emotional. Dude, okay, so yeah, I'll tear up well up during movies and shit, but there's always I'm rarely ever watching a movie by myself, but like there is a part of you as a man where you're like, keep it together, don't do it.
Doesn't go, dude. That part will never go away.
But dude, I watched fucking Schindler's List. Have you ever watched that movie?
I did, but I need to watch it again. I watched it in like a cinematography class when I was like in high school or something. Okay. And I was at the age that I was like, whatever. Jews.
Yeah. I was in my anti-Semitic age.
Yeah, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. That sounds so bad. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean... Yeah, I was at that one phase where
I was
I'm
in my
like,
Hitler Youth phase.
Other races. Stupid. No, I meant like I just didn't care about
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Art in that way at that point.
I watched that in the last month by myself at night, and there was no one around. And I saw it years and years ago, and I remember it was impactful, but I didn't remember all the structure of it and the storyline and all that shit. And dude, when I tell you, I was free. I felt unburdened by other people around me. And it was the most pure, like I cried like 3 or 4 times in that movie. And at the end, I'm like, like that fucking meme with the guy. He's like, "I still love you." And the dad's like,
what the fuck?
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I have no idea.
Oh my God. I'm going to show you right now.
And that's why it was funny. I think it was funnier me not knowing. Then the dad's like, His dad turns into fucking an old Kermit the Frog.
No, literally, dude. Come here.
Oh, yes, I have seen that. Okay, yes.
We're going to watch it.
Yeah.
I know. Somewhere deep down in my heart.
Don't laugh at that.
That's real shit right there.
I still love you.
Dude, that's years and years of not crying.
Yeah.
He's never cried in his life. He doesn't know how.
Yeah.
He's never, as a baby, he didn't cry.
As a baby, he held it in.
They pushed, he came out and they made him breathe for the first time, and he's like,
He started crying. They spanked him once and said no, and he stopped.
Stop.
Cut it out. You're a man now.
Welcome to the world.
You were a baby in the womb. You're a man now.
You were a baby in the womb. You be a fucking man.
Be a
out
fucking
here.
man. No, that's how I felt watching that movie, and it was beautiful because
That's cool.
I just got to have that moment to myself without. I would love to have that moment regardless of if folks are around or not, but it's not the reality I live in. It's like a fucking 3-hour movie. Dude, okay. Do you know what that movie's about? It's like the Holocaust.
I know.
There's one
that
scene in
there's
the
Jews.
Huh?
I know it's something about Jews.
Yeah, it's like World War II, the Holocaust, the fucking the camps and all this horrible shit. But there's one scene where they're like transporting. It was like such a specific moment that got me, and they're like transporting this like prison train filled with female Jews, and they're like getting. They know that they're gonna go to a station, and someone's just gonna kind of glance them over and tell them to go one line or the other, and they don't really know what their fate is, but like they know that they want to be as presentable as possible so that they don't get put in like the sick line where they might fucking die. And so like there's a scene where they're on the train and one woman like pricks her finger and gets a little bit of blood going and it starts like doing this to like do makeup on this other girl and like give her some blush and like lipstick out of blood because that's all they had. And I started crying. So it was just this like,
dude,
that hit me so hard.
That's rough.
Yeah, they're just like, let me be good enough to not. I couldn't handle it, man. A really good movie.
Yeah, dude. That's one I need to watch. I need to watch it again because it's. I mean, it's pretty. I think it's definitely. There's a reason they were showing it in my cinematography class. Like,
Yeah.
It's obviously one of those movies.
Yeah. I wish I watched more movies. I like tell myself I don't have enough time, but that's such bullshit because I just go to the easiest, quickest form of media, which is like flipping through Reddit on my phone or like Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I'll waste hours doing that, but I like don't. I pretend that it's not that. So like I would waste the same amount, quote unquote, use the same amount of time to watch a film or something as I would doing that, and I might get more out of that because every time I end up in this cycle with my phone, I just feel terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like movies. I just don't go out and see them.
Yeah. I'm a huge movie buff. I love fucking watching movies, and it's hard because Courtney is not so much, and she likes she prefers more like kid movies and stuff, and we have different viewpoints on movies. Like I love my favorite type of movies are the thrillers, the drama, the psychological horror. Like
Yeah.
I love that deep shit. Like movies like The Revenant, like slow burns, character driven movies. I love shit like that. And like Breaking Bad is a perfect example. Like that would be like a show form of like a movie that I would really love, and just getting into these characters and the darkness of them and all of the different aspects, to where she is like, why would you subject yourself to, why do you want to make yourself feel bad?
Yeah.
She's like, I would rather be happy. And I'm like,
yeah, dude, no.
that's like real life.
Yeah.
That's real shit.
I think you and I are similar in that.
And she's like, you already live in real life. Like, why do you need to? And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't have a good answer for that.
But
no, I think me and you are similar in that Courtney and Summer are similar, where me and Summer have a very slim overlap of things that we like together. And like I'll just walk in the room, she's watching something, like, what is this? Like like Breaking Bad like fucked me up.
We had to stop watching it. She's like, I can't. It ended with her crying like every episode. And she's like, you don't think that's sad? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm watching it.
But I'm suppressing it so I can have a heart attack later. I'm saving it for when I'm 50 so I can die. You're letting it out now.
So I can have a good death.
You're inconveniencing us now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not be a bitch and just die later.
I'm doing what my dad trained me to do. Keep it all in.
Do like my dad did.
No, yeah, that show fucked me up because I thought the writing was... That's one of my favorite shows of all time is Breaking Bad.
So good.
The writing was so good, and it was so kind of like... It would be like slow-paced at times, but you could tell they were like getting at some point or like leading to some idea through like great cinematography. And it just like ruined everything else for me. Cause like anything that's like very like a theater style of acting where it's like, Richard, you said that I blah, 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 or like, I'm pregnant. Oh, you know, like these very like niche kind of overly written dialogue where it's like, you say one thing and then you have the perfect retort for it and you don't stumble over your words.
Like, people don't talk like that.
Yeah, and that I'm coming to find there's value in that, but I have such a hard time with that. Like if it's camp, like lean into it, make it campy, make it corny, and like have it be fun in that way. I guess. I'm not a fucking buff, but like I just loved how they treated that show. It just felt very real to me. I fell in love with the characters. I loved that most of these characters were very like morally ambiguous. Like the your favorite people were like bad people. And
and that's what I liked about it, is that it was real, and it touches on so many different type of themes and discussions of like how, you know, where the human spirit and how far, you know, people can be pushed in their morality and thinking people are one way. Like if you look at Walter at the beginning of that show, the whole shtick is like, oh, it's this like fucking nerdy ass teacher. Like that's the shtick that pulls you in, and he's gonna cook meth. But then him at the end of the show is like, that's such a transformation that is like, he's become the fucking godfather at this point. Like, and it's just insane how you get there. And there's just so much of that. But me and Courtney talk about that all the time, about like, you know, Disney movies versus movies like that. And she's like, well, what is it about those movies that you don't necessarily like? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I like looking more at things that are like a mirror rather than an escape, maybe. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I still like Disney movies. I do, but like, and it might be like the cynical part of me. Like, there is a cynical part of me that she's like, well, yeah, you know, these Disney movies, they always wrap up like this and you have a happy ending and stuff. And there's just like a part of my brain that's just like, it doesn't fucking happen that way.
There's no happy ending.
Nobody's happy. That's not what happens. You cook meth. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
You put on some sunglasses and a fedora and you fucking cook meth for the rest of your life and get cancer.
Yep.
That's your life.
That's your happy ending.
Bambi is a fucking drug cartel.
If you're lucky, that's your life.
If you're lucky, you're Bambi and you're a drug cartel.
Yeah. No, I feel that way too. You said The Revenant, and that's a perfect example of like, I was obsessed with. I thought that was such a good movie, and I loved how it made me feel cold and like just desolate inside and broken. And Summer's like,
they filmed it, and
Summer was like, I hate that movie. Made me want to have a panic attack. And I'm like, I love that about it. She's like, I would never watch that again. I'm like,
after the bear scene, I was like,
the bear scene,
that's fucking intense. And she's like, why would you? That's horrible. That was a very realistic depiction of somebody being attacked and mauled by a bear within an inch of their life. And I'm like, that's what happens.
That's what.
That's
you go out, you cook meth, you get fucked by a bear, and you die. And you better you better be grateful for it.
Look at it in the face. Yeah, there's that part of me. It's like, well, why don't you? What are you? You can't. This is reality. Like, you can't look at that. That's what happens. And it's...
Yeah. I feel like it's just...
I think you can look at both sides for the same thing. You can like them for different reasons.
Yeah,
but...
and people go to whatever creative media they enjoy for different reasons. Like, I like different genres than other people might like, and I think the young part of me would be like, you listen to that type of music, that shit sucks or whatever. But then you realize that, like, there's reasons why people like anything, and it doesn't make them an idiot or less of a person. It's just like
taste.
You go tap in for different things, and like it would almost be easier if you, I don't know, I guess you have genres, those are the buckets you put things in, but like it's like, no, this is a different thing than this. So I don't know. I don't really fuck with like, that shit's, I mean, I can not like it myself, but I'll never like.
No, and I don't do, younger me for sure. I 100% would be like that. Like, or say that you're just stupid. Like, it's because you're dumb.
It's because you're dumb.
Because you like eating at Mickey D's and I'm eating a fucking prime rib over here and you don't have any depth. But really what it is just people are different. Yeah. People are different. People like different shit. Mm-hmm. And not everybody... You know, after I talk to Courtney more, like maybe not everybody wants to like stare their mortality in the face every time they sit down to watch a movie, like myself.
Which is
I want to walk out of it thinking like, what would I die for? Like what would I be willing to?
What would I fucking die for? That's insane.
How am I gonna go
relate with it, but it's insane. In a beautiful way.
That's why, like, literally my favorite movie in the world is that movie Logan. That is my favorite movie.
I need to see that again.
Dude, I
saw it in the wrong context.
I watched it alone in Detroit. I went to fucking...
You drove to Detroit.
I drove...
Sat in an alleyway.
I drove to Detroit just to watch it. Just to make sure I was that far away from everybody if it got emotional. Justin, where are you at? How far away are you?
I'm crying. You can't.
I'm crying. You better not come.
I need you to not hear me.
If you come a mile in this direction, I will fucking get real angry.
I'll push it way down deeper.
I push my anger so far down. The center of the earth will blow up.
My heart couldn't handle me watching this near you.
Yeah.
I need to get away. I need to be on a boat in the middle of the fucking...
Create a black hole
Lake
in my
Huron. Ew, you push it down so far that it becomes so dense that light refuses to escape it.
You create a portal into another realm. You make a universe happen with your anger.
That's beautiful. I would like to animate that, but I can't. I could try.
But yeah, so that's why I like. That's why I love that movie because
that's like a skit. That's like a beautiful art piece.
What?
Just a silent, like 3-minute film about a guy sitting on an armchair in his shitty apartment, feeling things, and just he gets a call from his mom who's disappointed, and he just lets it go, and then he puts one more layer down. He pushes it down, and it absorbs the world around him.
Turns into the Mariana Trench.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks everything into it. That's beautiful.
Oh, I'm just picturing it. Yeah, you're looking down on the Mariana Trench, and you just see if you could see something hitting the bottom from the top.
You see water falling into it. And the message is that the pit you create in yourself is killing everyone else around you.
That could be it. That could be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, watch that movie again.
Logan?
Watch that movie again. Well, partly is just a personal thing for me because I grew up with the X-Men movies. Mm-hmm. And, like, that was my childhood. Like, I remember going with my dad to the theater to see X-Men 2 when it came out. And, like, those were, like, that was, like, literally my childhood. So, like, there was a part of it that was very literally like me watching my own mortality and like my own childhood like becoming done, like over with, like it's done. Like
Ew.
you remember the height of this, and this is that. This is not that anymore. It was, and it's gone.
That makes so
now.
much sense. It's like so real, and it's like kill your childhood.
Yeah.
Damn.
There was a part of it that for me, and there's a bunch of other shit too that I could say that it's just such, just about superheroes in general. The reason I love superheroes in general, well, when I was a kid, it was because they were cool. When I got older, I like them because they represent archetypal values and different things like that. And I like that. And I think that we, the reason what makes a hero and what, all of those different things. I think that's why superheroes can be like a representation of, those things from stories, like heroes and knights in shining armor fighting the dragon and shit like that. And, what makes a hero, and, is it the perfect Superman, or is it somebody like fucking Logan and like Wolverine? And that's always like why those were like my favorite superheroes, was anti-heroes, because they're relatable, and it's not about how shiny their teeth are, or how fucking tight their spandex is, or anything like that. Like, it's just what they choose to do at the end of the day. They have a code. That's the difference. Like with Batman and shit like that. The only thing you see that a lot with that, but the only difference between like the Joker and Batman is Batman has a code. That's it. Like, he has a line where the Joker doesn't have a line, and it brings up those big questions of like, well, what is good and evil, and like what makes you good and what makes you evil, and is it this large gap, or is it just this little line that you got that's like, this is the line that can't be broken, or I become an evil person.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that movie fucking killed me. It was the saddest thing because of the way that they filmed it and everything. It was rated R. It was just so brutal and dark, and fucking everybody is a shell of their former self. Like, it's just so sad, and like, and just feeling my own mortality while watching his, like, he's not what he was. Like, if you think back to those movies quite literally, like, the way they were filmed and everything were the Marvel movies of that time. Mm-hmm. So it's like thinking back to those and how good he was, like, on an individual level, and how shiny that movie was, and how good and golden.
Yeah. It's cool because it's like, it's an evolution of the medium, because now there's like weirder, like more personal depth and darkness, and it's also the evolution of this character who's, was in their prime and is not. So, and it's the evolution of you're getting older, and so that's where it was, and here's where it is now. Yeah. I think that's awesome. And like, I love there's like cartoons that do that, like that realize, like, that they air for so long that their audience gets older, and they like kind of stick. They don't keep it as childish. I mean, they keep it childish and jovial and fun, but they also like imbue it with like deeper things that almost can throw you off sometime. But like, your audience, I don't know, the audience develops with the show, and the show grows, and I think that's really cool. I don't know if you ever watched Adventure Time.
I did a little bit. I wasn't like on the bandwagon.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't like in the fan club, but I like saw people in the fan club, and I was like, cool.
Yeah,
I get it.
I think it's a great show. It's super good. But yeah, no, that's super cool. I want to watch that again.
But yeah, it's definitely that aging along. You see your own aging, and it's like the whole thing about it. It would be like if the Wizard of Oz, something as shiny and golden and timeless as the Wizard of Oz, if they like made a follow-up movie with that, where
it's like the hell
Dorothy, where it's like the realistic version of that. And I think they've obviously done stuff like that before.
Yeah.
And it, like, they even,
because then you get to have both. You have this like shiny, pure, cute
Yeah.
beautiful masterpiece, and then you say, okay, well, we've exited that era, and now here's what's after it.
And Logan, they even reference that in the movie. Comic books exist in the canon of that movie. So they even reference, like, his daughter is looking at comic books and has them in her backpack because she reads comic books. And this is the guy that she's idolizing, is Logan. And he literally, like, it's part of the movie where they kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, and they're like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, this isn't how it actually happens, and fucking people die. Like, he says that to her, and it's just, but that's the part that I love about it, is at the end, he has a last hurrah where she gets to see him, and that's the part that made me tear up, because it was disappointment up until then. She had this ideal of a hero, of a person that she read about in this comic book and that saved the world. And then you see this guy, he's a fucking alcoholic and like shitty. But at the end, he has to make a choice because all these fucking kids go, and he knows if he doesn't do something, they're not going to make it. And so he makes that choice. He doesn't know, it's a battle that he can't win, and he knows that, but he chooses to fight anyway. And I think that's a strong message. And that she just gets to see him. Like, that's the part that made me sad, was like, he takes the venom or the poison or whatever the fuck it is, but it amps him up for a second, for like a good half an hour or whatever. So she gets to see him like one time in his actual prime, and like they have that moment where she does see him and she's like, that's what I imagined. Like that was my expectation. Like, it does exist.
Damn.
You are what I thought you were, but you're also all this other shit. And
yeah, that's got me hyped. I want to see that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cut me deep.
Yeah,
cut me real deep.
we should hang out and watch some movies sometime.
We still gotta watch that fucking horror movie that I told you about.
Which one?
That X.
I don't know. What is that?
It's the one that I told you about, where the premise is they're shooting a porno.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a legit movie, and I have it now because
You've seen it, or you haven't seen it?
No, I have seen it.
Oh, okay.
I stole it from Redbox on accident because I like put it in my backpack and forgot to return it, and then they charged me a bunch of money, and I was like, oh, yep, I
stole this.
I didn't bring that back. But yeah, so it's mine now, and yeah, we have to watch it because horror movies are another one of those ones that like I told you, I'm super picky with horror movies.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm not picky to the point where I won't enjoy it. Like, I can still go to the movies and see pretty much any horror movie, but to me, there's a difference between, like, is this going to be an isolated enjoyment, or is this going to be something that, like, I can rewatch?
Yeah.
Because the jump scares is a thing.
Yeah. See, my thing with horror movies is, and I'm not a connoisseur or anything, but like a lot of movies, they'll like it. How do I describe this? I think movies in general rely on format, and the format, like a lot of times, unless it's a very unique or kind of avant-garde films can follow, like you can have a multitude of storylines that follow the same kind of format, setup, leads to this. And I think horror movies, like when you follow format so much, everything becomes predictable if you know what's going on. Like when you have like a long drawn out silent shot, that usually means that there's about to be a jump scare, or there's about to be a whatever, or if they like set up a character and they like highlight some abstract detail about them, they're like, oh, that's going to be significant laiter, and then when they bring it up again, I'm like, oh, they're going to die, and then like everything just becomes kind of predictable. So like I think that you either got to break format, which is I feel like probably very challenging. You have to be a very good filmmaker to do that, and have it be effective, or you follow the format but you do it in a unique enough way, or you lean into like let's make it campy and fun, and then it has like some other aesthetic about it that is
and then
enjoyable.
You don't care the writing's bad or anything.
Yeah, and then you have to decide, okay, do I want to watch this because I want to be scared, or do I want to watch this because it's just a good movie in general, and I might not get those scares, but I'll have enjoyed the watch anyway. And those are the types of movies that like lean so heavy into cliches with characters where like, I don't know, it's always like a group of high schoolers and they're all like dicks to each other for some reason. I'm like, why are these guys all assholes? And
yeah,
I don't know. So like, I have a hard time with it.
I do
with
too.
just your average horror movie. Like if it's like, oh no, this is a very, like everyone knows that this is a masterpiece or a really good movie. Like, yeah, I'll fucking watch that one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fuck around with any horror movie to like. Well, no, that's not true. There's some that are just I can tell it's like this is gonna be a pile of shit.
Yeah, and like I have a hard time with suspension of disbelief, and I feel like if you're able to suspend disbelief, that's what creates an environment where you can actually have a spooky experience.
Yeah.
So if the character, same thing as me being picky about shows that aren't as up to the par of Breaking Bad. It's like, okay, well, if the writing's dog shit, I don't believe in this world. And if I don't believe in this world, I can't buy these emotions, these reactions, and I'm not going to be scared.
Yeah.
And if I'm
horror movies, I think are a little bit different. That I would apply certain rules to horror movies that I wouldn't apply to other movies. Like horror movies, the reason I could still kind of get some enjoyment out of just a basic ass horror movie, like whatever, they're coming out with the new Halloween fucking 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like I could still watch that and it could be a bag of dicks, but like I could still enjoy it because it does still bring in the same reason you can enjoy a haunted house or something like that, to where they're doing the jump scare thing, but it's like an experience of just like, you got me. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to remember that movie like afterwards. I'm probably never going to watch it again. Mm-hmm. But whatever. Like if it's an experience where I'm going to the theater and you're going to make loud noises happen abruptly and scare the shit out of me for a couple hours, like, okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't apply that rule to any other movie though. Like if it's other movies, if I'm trying, like dramas or something, like I wouldn't say, because you can't really do that with dramas. Either it's very well written and shit like that, or it's sloppy and it's shitty and I don't like it.
Or like a comedy, it's like, I feel like if you go into a comedy movie and you don't end up laughing at all, there needs to be a good movie underneath it that is like, oh, I wasn't cackling, but I still enjoyed this movie. I like the characters, whatever. So like, same with a horror movie. It's like, okay, if I'm not getting scared, there needs to be something of value here.
Yeah.
And if everything is bullshit, I don't know. Yeah, so I get what you're saying, because I'm kind of.
And for me, I think what makes the difference for me, what makes a horror movie good or great, is why I'm getting scared. I don't think it's hard to scare people. I don't, because production, you can do a bunch of shit. Like you can watch YouTube videos of jump scares. Like it's psychologically, if you sneak up behind somebody and go, like that's what they're doing. Like you're gonna scare people, even if you know it's coming, because you're getting primed of like, okay, they're gonna jump. It's right. Okay, now they're jumping. Now.
I know what you're saying.
But to me, what makes it great is, why am I getting scared? Am I getting scared because of your production and you made a loud noise and whatever? Or did you just show me something that is genuinely scary outside of the jump scare?
Can I show you a clip from a YouTube video that scared me?
If you want, yeah, you can.
Okay, cool. This will either be in the podcast or not, but I'll just.
So it'll either be here or it's not gonna be here.
Maybe I'll clip it or something. This dude. Scariest scene. Dude, this shit is fucked.
Dude, I don't already from the.
I'll put it up here, and we can react to it. And maybe that'll make good content. I don't know. Ew. Okay, it's a
Sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. If someone asked me how I got into films,
Shut up.
without any hesitation, I would say it's because
Already, I
of
don't like
horror
it.
films. The rush of adrenaline I felt with masterclass works like Tobe Hooper's Poltergeist, David Cronenberg's The Fly, or John
Yeah.
Carpenter's 1982 classic The Thing was more than enough to pull me into the world of cinematic horror, and I watched hundreds, if not thousands, of horror films over the years. Of course, the more you watch, the less you get affected by the repetitive formula horror films tend to have, and I myself don't get scared as much as I did before.
Dude. See, that's
The recent addition
that's
of
not a
directors
jump
like
scare,
Ari
that's just
Aster,
fucking
Robert
scary.
Eggers and Jennifer Kent, to name a few, has without a doubt revamped the horror genre to a certain degree.
The
but
Babadook,
as
dude.
someone who
I
has
haven't
grown
seen
up
that
with
yet.
Asian horror,
Cody got the
I always
tattoo.
felt like something is
This
missing
shit-
in these recent films.
The
Yes.
ring.
One night, while
That's
going through my old watch
cinema
list,
gold.
I stumbled upon a film I had watched as a young kid, so haunting that I had refused to watch it again for years.
This fucked me
The
up
film
for
itself is far from
my
being
childhood.
perfect, but there's a scene that is so well done that even now it blows my mind.
Dude,
This scene
I
is
don't-
from a 2001 Japanese horror film directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa called Kairo.
I don't want
And
to
it
watch
goes
this.
like this.
And it goes like
A man
this.
finds an apartment unit sealed with red tapes on his way back home. Attracted by its odd energy, he decides to take the tapes off and have a look inside.
What a dummy.
The place is dark, hollow, and cold. He carefully walks around, examining the empty space surrounding him, until he reaches a dead end with red markings all over and a couch in front. Something feels off. He's too far in, a vulnerable state. What if there's something behind him? As we hold our breath in, an ominous piece of music enters the scene,
No,
and we
dude.
see a woman, standing still, barely visible.
No.
Of course you might say, but what's interesting is that this woman is framed as a part of the background. Off from the center, away from the lights, and far from the camera. Like the walls, the stairs, the column. Not only is this a brilliant way to force the audiences to discover the unknown woman, but it also makes her that much more threatening because she stands as if she has always been. But this isn't the climax of the scene, it's what she does next that's truly terrifying. She walks, and she walks like this.
No, dude. No. What are you doing?
Ugh.
Is she moving? I don't know what
Now,
she's
of course,
doing.
this scene works better
Yes.
within the context of the film, given that you are invested in the plot leading up to this moment. And everyone is different, but for me, this was one of the most terrifying scenes of all time. But why is this so scary?
I thought that was a really cool video.
That's what it is. And that's what I mean is that those are the things that make me afraid, like genuinely deep-seatedly afraid is those weird things. It's because, yeah, like the jump scare, the weird editing and stuff like that, like, you know, that can surprise me. I think that's a perfect way to distinguish between the two is like that can, oh shit, there was nothing here and now something's here very quickly.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we got you, but it's like, oh, yeah, you got me, but that doesn't sit with you.
Yeah.
And that, especially the first time I saw it, I was just like, I don't know, even in the context of the YouTube video, he just like gets quiet and you just like, it's a very slow thing, and then it almost looks like she starts to sprint at you, but she's just like,
That's what I mean. I don't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
My brain can't categorize it.
yeah, and I think that is an area of your brain that's scary, where it's like, I can't make heads or tails of this.
Is
Whereas
this-
a jump scare, it's like, oh, I know what just happened.
Yeah,
but that is
something jumped out at me.
confusing and like ominous, and you're expecting something, or like you almost wish it would jump scare you because then it would be over.
Yeah.
But that is just like, ugh, it's gross. It's gross.
That's what freaks me out. Yeah, I don't like shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think a movie, well, I think that's what I liked about, you know, some of the older movies. And I'm not going to, because I haven't watched all of like the old 80s scary movies. I haven't watched all of them, so I can't say. I want to, though, because I love the special effects, because they are done in such a way that I feel like it makes them look creepier. Because like
they're not relying on like CGI or whatever.
Yeah, like nowadays, I know my brain already understands how that works and like what is happening. Like, okay, you guys are doing camera editing to make it look like this is happening or whatever. And I guess it's not that I'm confused about how they did special effects back then, but something about it made it like when there was a claymation thing. Like something moving, the way things move in claymation to me is so disgusting to me. It just grosses me out because it's it's not completely over the top, but it's also not like natural. Like it's not moving how it should be moving, and it's just slightly gross, like slightly weird as fuck.
Yeah, claymation like horror. I've seen like a couple of things like that, and those are wild to me. They make me feel things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, fucking yeah, you should watch the fucking trailer for that X movie or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
And I got a Barbarian. That's a new one that I want to see that's in theaters. That one looks legit too. Like it looks like it actually might be scary. And I think it's because of the vagueness of the trailer. That's another thing that I like, that if they do that really well, that like piques my intrigue, is if by the end of the trailer I have no idea what the movie's about.
I love that because I feel like a lot of, and you would probably agree with this, just like you watch a trailer and it's like, oh, I just saw the whole movie. Why would I need to see this movie? All these major plot points were hit.
Yeah.
So there's no...
I already get the shtick. Like, I know exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, you gotta have a trailer to get people to watch it. So.
Did you ever watch A Quiet Place?
Yes.
That was a brilliant...
Is that the one with the house and the old man that's blind?
No.
Wait, which one?
There's two of them that have very similar premises like that. There's A Quiet Place, and then there is... I think that one is... I mean, that one was good, too.
A Quiet Place... Oh, is that the one with... Oh, it is. Okay. It's the one with Jim from The Office.
Yes.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, he does fucking amazing.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, that was a good movie.
I loved that movie. There was a element, and there was a part in that movie where that nail is sticking up on the step. You don't remember? Mm-hmm. Well, whatever. It's at one point you're shown a nail that
eventually someone like steps on it or something, right?
And you see it, and you're like... that's not good. And then later, it's so crucial that it's at a part where they need to be quiet. And you see this fucking nail, and you're just like, there's so much tension of just like, that this one nail is causing. And it's so cool that they have set this movie up in a way where the whole audience is literally just looking at a nail like,
yeah,
fucking don't do that shit. Like,
yeah,
don't. That one I thought was like super brilliant too. The whole movie I was just like fucking sitting on the edge of my seat like, okay, don't.
Did they make a sequel to that?
They did. I didn't watch it though.
Okay. I might be interested in watching that.
No, I never watched that one. I heard it was good.
We'll wrap this up.
I want to wrap my dick up.
Make a bowl on it. Fucking lasso. Grab another dick. Grab a bigger dick.
I'm gonna catch another dick with a dick.
Yeah, anything else we wanna... I'm excited to get this one out. Hopefully it'll not take as long. I got the intro pretty much done. I just gotta get the text on this shit. What do you think of the intro?
Boop, boop,
beep, bop, boop.
I think the fucking intro is like legit.
You like it?
I think if you don't like the intro, then you
tell them.
That's all.
You just need to think about it a little bit.
You just really need to think about that.
Sit with yourself. All right, cool.
Reflect.
Thanks to anyone who watched this shit. And if you didn't, I don't care, because I had fun.
I had a blast.
All right.
I'm just happy to be here. I hope that you're here. If you're not, then I understand.
You're not good. Why you're not?
I suppose I deserve you to not be here.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody...
It's not the first time that you haven't been here. when I wanted you here.
Bye.